A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. First International Conference 2018 on Living in Peace and Harmony, the Risale-i Nur Perspectives. Second session, chair, discussant, program presenters, article presenters, ladies and gentlemen, teacher and students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My articles, titled Rights of Non-Muslims in a Muslim State. Islam is a religion of mercy to all people, both Muslims and non-Muslims. Allah Almighty given status of humanity forms of basis of the principle of human dignity in Islam, whether the person is Muslim or non-Muslim. Islam emphasized that the origin of all humanity is one. Therefore, all human beings have creation rights over one another. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty says, O mankind, we created you from a single of a male and female, and made you into nations and tribes that you may know each other. Prophet Hazrat Muhammad declared in his farewell sermon, addressing the largest gathering in Arab history, till that point, people hear that your Lord is one, and that your Father is one. You must know that no Arab has superiority over a non-Arab. No non-Arab has superiority over an Arab, or a red man over a black man, or a black man over a red, except in terms of what each person has of piety. Have I delivered this message? The tolerant attitude of Islam towards non-Muslims, whether they be those residing in their own countries or within the Muslim states, lands, can be clearly seen through a study of history. It is not permissible for Muslims to transgress upon non-Muslims, not in their person, their wealth, or their reputations. If they are residents in a Muslim country and constitution of the land offers their rights and protection. This article focuses on the non-Muslims' rights to protection of lives, protection of property, honor and dignity, religious freedom and social security. These rights are eloquently supported by the Holy Quran and the traditions of Prophet Hazrat Muhammad. Rights to protection of life. Islamic law protects basic human rights like the preservation of life, property and honor for Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Whether the non-Muslims are residents or visitors, they are guaranteed their rights. These rights cannot be taken away except in a justified case permitted by the law. For instance, a non-Muslim cannot be killed unless he is guilty of killing. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty says, and do not kill the soul which God has forbidden except by right. Surah Al-An'am, ayah verses 151. Muslim scholars agreed that the lives, wealth and honor of the non-Muslims living in Islamic State are to be protected. Violating their blood is considered one of the gravest of sins. Prophet Muhammad declared that the life of non-Muslims, residents or visitor, as inviolable when he said, whoever kills a person with whom we have a treaty will not come close enough to paradise to smell its scent, and its scent can be found as far away for 40 years of travel. Sahih al-Bukhari. Islam ruled that any Muslim who steals from a non-Muslim would have his hand cut off. Non-Muslims should not be subjected to severe punishment or torture, if they fail to fulfill their duties, like paying the jizya and the kharaj, what we now call tax. The fourth righteous caliph, Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, stated, they pay capitation tax so that their blood and wealth may be like ours. Right to protection of property. The Islamic State has to protect the non-Muslims' property. Islam does not allow assaulting a non-Muslim, violating his honor or property or hurting him. This principle has been unanimously agreed upon among all Muslim scholars throughout history. Thus, a person who steals from a non-Muslim will have his hand cut off, and he who takes their property by violence is punished and obliged to return to its owner. If a Muslim borrows money from a non-Muslim, he is obliged to repay him. If the Prophet of Islam said, "You must know that it is not lawful for you to take the property of the people of the covenant unless is it for something." He also said, "Indeed, God, mighty of majesty, has not allowed you to enter the house of the people of the book except by their permission, nor has he allowed you to hate their women, nor eat their fruit if they give you what is obligatory upon them." Abu Dawud. There is no difference between Muslim and non-Muslim citizen in respect of the civil or criminal law, although the Islamic State will not interfere with the personal rights of non-Muslims. If any Muslim tries to crucial the rights of non-Muslims, Prophet ﷺ says that he would be a complainant against such a Muslim on the day of judgment, warning against any abuse of non-Muslims in an Islamic society. Our noble Prophet ﷺ was reported to have said, "He who unfairly treats a non-Muslim, who keeps a peace treaty with Muslims, or undermines his rights or burdens him beyond his capacity, or takes something from his without his consent, then I am his opponent on the day of judgment." Narrated by Abu Dawud and Bayhaqi. Non-Muslims will enjoy all their rights of ownership, sale, transfer, grant, and mortgage of their property like any Muslim, and no individual or state will interfere with it. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, the fourth Caliph, once said about the rights of non-Muslim to their property, he said, they have accepted the position of Jimmis on the explicit understanding for their properties, and their lives will remain sacred like those of ours, the Muslims. Right to protection of honor and dignity. The honor of a non-Muslim is sacred in Islam, just like that of Muslims. It is the Hanafi schools states that it is incumbent upon Muslims to abstain from harming non-Muslims. It is forbidden to slander them, just as it is forbidden to slander Muslims. Non-Muslims have the right that their honor be protected. This right is extended not only to non-Muslim residents but also to visitors. They all have the right to be secure and protected. Allah Almighty says, "And if one of the polytheists seeks your protection, then grant him protection, so that he may hear the words of Allah." Al-Quran. The right of asylum makes it a duty on every Muslim to respect and uphold the asylum granted by another Muslim, according to Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's statement. The obligation imposed by the covenant is communal, and the nearest Muslim must try hard to fulfill it. Anyone who violates the protection guaranteed by a Muslim will be under the curse of God, the angels, and the people, and on day of judgment no intercession will be accepted on his behalf. Bukhari, Ibn Majah. One of the female companions, Hani, said to the Prophet, "O Messenger of God, my brother Ali claims that he is at war with a man whom I have granted asylum, a man with the name of Ibn Hubayra." The Prophet answered her, "Anyone you have given asylum to is under the protection of all of us, O Hani." Bukhari. Religious freedom. Not only does Islam demand their freedom to practice religion, but also that they be treated justly as any other fellow human. Islam does not compel people of their faith to convert. It has given them complete freedom to retain their own faith and not to be forced to embrace Islam. The freedom of documented in both the Holy Quran and the prophetic teachings known as Sunnah. Freedom of choice. There is no historical incident of Muslims forcing any non-Muslims to embrace Islam. This is a fact acknowledged by Western historians. Compulsion in the matter of religious worship is incompatible with the religion of Islam because every religion depends upon faith and will, and these would be meaningless if they are inducted by force. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty says, there is no compulsion in religion. Building and protecting of places of worship. Not only does Islam give the freedom of religious freedom to non-Muslims, its tolerant law extended to preservation of their places of worship. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran, they are those who have been evicted from their homes without right only because they say our Lord is God. And is it not that God checks the people some by means of others? There would have been demolished churches, synagogues and mosques in which the name of God is much mentioned, praised, and God will surely support those who support Him. Indeed, God is powerful and exalted in might. Okay. I have no time, so I want to conclude. Freedom to perform missionary activities, freedom to change religion, general rules for dealings with non-Muslims. I have no time, so I will finish. Just last conclusion I would say, as for patriotic or national celebrations and religious festivals such as Eid Day or the such, there is no objection whatsoever to a Muslim congratulating others in those regards, and indeed to participate therein as a citizen of those lands or states, while observing Islamic manners and controls in all matters through interfaith dialogue for living peace and harmony. Thank you very much. Thank you to give me opportunity to present this paper, first international conference, living peace and harmony. Thank you very much. Thank you all.